Bry, by Anthony Mingione that this is interesting. That the game-winning goal for Nashville came with 119 left. Joel Farabee's game-winning goal on St. Patty's Day was with 119 remaining. Exact revenge is what it points out.
That's creepy. Yeah, that's about as nail in the head revenge as you can get if you're Nashville, right?
Yeah.
They win that game expecting to they ran into a Flyers team then that was kind of on its heels, and they expected that to be a lot easier than it was. And the Flyers, of course, rode the emotion of that game, took that win, and same score, same time tonight. It's very eerie, isn't it? When you sit down and look at the numbers.
Yeah, well, the Flyers and Nashville just proved to be too much in this game, and they overwhelmed the Flyers. They outshoot them 35-23. Flyers get 4 goals on 23 shots, only 19 saves for UC Saros. He wasn't very good in the game, but the Flyers were timely in their scoring, but ultimately it's Nashville who just overwhelmed them. And really, this game for me, Bry, the difference. The Nashville team's obviously better and has more depth right now and all of that. But Roman Josi just was a catalyst in this one again.
Yeah, and you see why he's in the Norris conversation. Again, not because of his defensive efforts, but everything else that he does out there. I finally did run the numbers, and he's at 63 assists now tonight. There have only been 44 other defensemen in the history of the league to have a 63 assist season or more. They have 16 games left. He's not going to break a league record or anything. Bobby Orr's got that at 102. He's not within reach of that, but he is well within reach of getting to a place that only Bobby Orr and Paul Coffey have been. The two of them have the top 8 single season assist marks in franchise history, or in league history, rather, I should say. And then, Orr's also got the 10th. Coffey's got the 13th and the 15th. Then you start mixing in Brian Leach, Phil Housley, Sergei Zubov's in there. But Josi, if everything continues to go the way it has, will be in that conversation, I think, by the time the season's over. So that just kind of gives you some perspective on the year he's having.
Yeah, and not only that, but you see like that final goal that they score, the redirect by Tanner Jeannot. But it's a great play by Josi to spot him and deliver the shot pass right to the blade of his stick. That's the only goal in the third period. After what was, Flyers come out of the first up 2-0 and find a way to lose this game in regulation. A lot of the damage was done, obviously, in the second period. 4 goals in the second by Nashville. They opened they got on the board to make it 2-1, 41 seconds in, and the Flyers restretched the lead to 2, but then 2 goals, or 3 straight goals, rather, from Nashville unanswered, puts them up 4-3. Van Riemsdyk gets the goal late in the period. And then the only marker of the third is the Tanner Jeannot goal, his 22nd of the season. He's been a great find for this team.
Oh, absolutely. You see the kind of, physicality he brings to the lineup. And the thing to me about the Josi pass on the game winner is that, a lot of times most of the time, I should say, when you get shots from the point that are deflected in, you've got somebody posting up in front of the net and waiting for the shot to come in. And, the deflection is made while you're stationary. This is a moving target that Josi hits.
Yeah.
Jeannot is coming right down the slot there, and again, he's kind of got his back to him. That's the other thing. You're usually facing the shooter, but he's got his back to him. He knows right where Josi wants him to go, and Josi puts it there, and that's what makes that goal all the more remarkable to me.
Yeah, he lays out that stick, gives him the target, and Josi did not miss the target. It's just a perfect slap pass. And Jeannot puts it up over the high glove of Martin Jones. That ends up being the game winner. Flyers were gamers in this one, but ultimately come away in defeat. And despite the fact that Martin Jones gave up 5 goals, he made some big saves in this game. And, you look at that first period where the Flyers got outshot significantly, and Jones really, helped be the catalyst to give him that lead coming out of the first period. I mean, the Flyers only had 4 shots, and they scored 2 goals in the first, and they scored 3 of their first 5.
Right, yeah, and they had the opportunities and they took advantage of them. And on Jones's side of things, 3 of those 5 goals are deflections. You're not really going to fault him for those. The fourth one the one that was just a saucer pass over the top. I mean, that's just a crazy, unbelievable play that was made there. The only thing that you would potentially even look at from his game is that the rebound on the Cunnin goal. That I'm sure he would like to have directed that to the side or something like that. But you can't put this on him by any sense, any means. It's just a good team that they went up against tonight, and they ran into a goaltender that was off his game and took advantage of him the best he can, and they just had one too many responses for him.
Yeah, and Nashville, good team. They got some guys having really good bounce back years, whether that's Duchesne. Obviously, Philip Forsberg is making himself a lot of money right now going to the UFA. They didn't trade him. They're obviously hoping that they can extend him. If he goes to open market, he gonna get paid. He's gonna get paid no matter what. But
Yeah,
he's careering it at the right time.
Exactly. That's we've seen guys in the past do that. They call it the contract year, and you got a guy coming in that's already at a $6 million cap hit. I don't know exactly what the structure of the deal is, but I believe it's just a normal contract. So, after having played the last 5-6 years on that deal. Now he's in place for another one, and how excuse me, these GMs work sometime in this league. He will find somebody to give him a max term deal at a really high number, and whoever team does that, they're just gonna have to hope that it keeps up throughout the entire term. He's 27 years old right now. He should be good for at least another 5 years or so at his current production. We'll see. But he's got to be in the right situation too. And, we'll just see if it's in Nashville or if it's somewhere else.
Well, the Flyers going to travel after this game tonight I bet they wish they could just stay in Nashville for the night, hang out there rather than go to balmy Minnesota.
You know what? I mean, it's
here, so I'm sure it's not.
Nothing's coming out of this season anyway. You might as well, right?
Yeah, let's just go to Minnesota. Let's just stay in Nashville for an extra night. We'll get a quick skate in tomorrow, and then let's fly to Minnesota tomorrow.
Yeah, why not? It's a balmy 27 in Minnesota right now, going down to 19 tonight.
Yeah,
it's still the dead of winter there. Their summer lasts about 6 weeks. You have spring and fall for 4 weeks on either side of that, but. I don't know. Maybe they're thinking of Coatsy. They want to get him out of there. Get him to a more stable location.
Maybe there's a city ordinance to get him out of there, isn't it?
Yeah, that could have been. That could have been.
So coming up, we're going to see Minnesota coming up on Tuesday. They're in action tonight against Colorado. No easy task. Matter of fact, I got to get a score on that game. But the Flyers will be in Minnesota Tuesday. Minnesota, without the result of tonight's game, have won 5 straight.
Mm-hmm.
They've beaten Boston 4-2, Chicago 3-1, Vegas 3-0, then back-to-back 3-2 overtime wins over Vancouver and Columbus. And like I said, they're at home tonight against Colorado. And Marc-Andre Fleury got his first start as a Minnesota Wild in that game against Columbus, the 3-2 overtime win. Wonder if we see Marc-Andre Fleury come Tuesday night.
Yeah, I mean, I'll steal your thunder. I just clicked over to that game on our system, and they have just won that game in overtime. So they went to overtime for a third straight night then. And
so they beat the Avs 3-2 in overtime.
They beat the Avs 3-2 in overtime, and it took about 20 seconds. Let's see when this actually goes in. 4:45. So 15 seconds in, Kevin Fiala just won it in overtime. So they're rolling along right now. That could be decent for the Flyers, though. Then this might be a bit of a letdown potential game for them next time out after what I'm sure is going to be a very emotional night there, knocking off the top team in the West and giving them a good puff of wind in their sails as they try to get ready for the playoffs. Things were going really well there, and then they kind of tailed off, and I'm sure this is going to make them feel good. So we'll see. Maybe the Flyers can take advantage of that on Tuesday.
Yeah, Cam Talbot made 40 saves on 42 shots in that game for Minnesota. So Probably pretty likely that we'll see Marc-Andre Fleury coming up Tuesday as they try and straighten out what goalie they're going to go into the postseason with. Obviously, Talbot with that 40 saves on 42, making a strong case for it to be him. Of course, he was a big free agent signing with them a couple years ago. And Billy Guerin goes out and gets Marc-Andre Fleury. So maybe we see Fleury come Tuesday. Let's wrap it up for our radio audience. So we got a few people to thank on the radio side. Let's start with our in-studio engineer. That is Ryan Shuttlesworth. Pancake on the highlights tonight. Yeah, Chris Ashcraft doing highlights tonight. A lot of duty for him. 9 total goals tonight for him to cut up. For Tim Saunders, Steve Coates, Brian Smith, I'm Jason Martinez. You've been listening to Philadelphia Flyers Hockey, a 5-4 defeat against the Nashville Predators on the BetRivers.com Flyers Broadcast Network. Good night, everybody. Thanks, Rye.
Yeah, they
all right.
Wild were actually on a power play now that I look at this again.
Let MMR get back to the rock.
Power play 4-on-3 to start that overtime, and right off the face-off into the zone, bang.
And Fiala got it?
Yep.
Like him.
Yep. Fiala. Ryan Hartman was out there. I don't know.
He got a goal. 27 now on the year.
Yeah.
Ryan Hartman. Kidding me?
I don't know where everything went wrong there.
It's like a Brady Anderson type season for the Orioles, isn't it?
Yep.
It was obvious Brady Anderson that year was on steroids because he hit like 21 home runs as a career high. Then all of a sudden it's like 58.
I take that back. Hartman wasn't on the ice. It was Eriksson Ek and Zuccarello on the assists. But it was he had the tying goal in the final third.
Unreal.
But
Ryan Hartman. Ryan stinking Hartman.
27th goal this year, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I think that's like a goal total of the previous 3 seasons combined.
Yeah. We'll see.
Pretty bananas. And Justin comments in here on Facebook and says, just want to say thanks for the feedback the other day when I asked about Line. Any possibility that Johnny Hockey comes to the Flyers? Still think we need a proven goal scorer. We talked about Line. I mean, he's a goal scorer, but just when he's not scoring, he's not into it. He's a bit of a mutt. But I guess Gaudreau is in play. Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I don't know about guys going to play in their hometown in their prime, but it doesn't happen a whole heck of a lot. Tavares did it, though.
Yeah, he did. And, I guess the jury's still out on that one.
How's that worked out? That team would have been better off, oddly enough, not winning that free agent signing, I think. There's
teams that have been in that avenue before. For everything that Eric Lindros accomplished while he was here, the 2 other teams involved in that whole thing won Stanley Cups within 5 years after that. So it's sometimes it just it seems the way to go, and it doesn't shake out that way, but you don't have the benefit of hindsight there. But yeah, he could be. I could see him fitting in here. I look at him a lot like Cam Atkinson a little bit. And the Flyers have had a shortage of goal scorers in recent years. If somebody like him was in here with Atkinson, and then you get Owen Tippett and Wade Allison chipping in, that's a decent boost to your offense, you would think. So,
You see the season Gaudreau's having? I mean, he's 3rd in scoring in the league. He's at 90 points.
Yeah, I've heard about it anecdotally. I haven't seen much of it. But,
holy cow, it's been unbelievable. I mean, they had an absolute barn earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw this at all, but the score of this game, did you see this?
The 9-5 game?
Yeah.
Was it Draisaitl had a hat trick and was -4.
Yeah, it's the first time since like 1983 a player's had a hat trick and been -4.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. Did you see the Penguins won today 11-2?
I didn't see what the final was. I saw they were hanging something crazy on Detroit, but I didn't see it. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, that's bananas. You look at the amount of goals that have been scored today. The Panthers are down 3-2. All right, so the Jets are up 1-0. That's early in the first, but 5 total goals in the Lightning Islander game, 9 in the Rangers Sabres game, 13 total goals in that Penguin Red Wings game, 9 in the Flyers game. The 9-5 game was yesterday with Calgary. But yeah, Gaudreau is just, what a season he's having. And you wouldn't think a player like him under a guy like Darryl Sutter would be kind of the way to do it. But he's got 30 goals, 60 assists, 90 points, and he's a plus 49.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, I
what I'm
mean,
like. What are you kidding me? I mean, in the game against Edmonton, he had 5 apples. This guy's like at an orchard.
well, I mean, again, he had that big season for Calgary in 18-19. Yeah, I really strung a couple of good ones together, and then there were some questions, through the next 2 shortened seasons. He didn't have a great season in 2019-20 when the season stopped early, and then last year it was a good overall year. I guess you can't balk at 49 points in 56 games, but I think people were still expecting the 100-point season they saw 2 years before. So he's picked a good year to cash in here because again it's a contract year and all that. But the Flyers, they've got, without having the cap in front of me, I mean Claude Giroux, $8 million, not going to be there next year unless they bring him back. So you've got money to bring in another big piece, and he's one of probably several possibilities out there.
Yeah. He, I mean, some of the knock on him is his playoff numbers: 8 goals, 11 assists, 19 points in 30 playoff games. But he's got 11 points in his last 4 games. I mean, this guy has just been unbelievable. And of course, it was a 4th round pick, Then nobody
Yeah,
thought he could play in this league. And then the league kind of changed as he was going through his collegiate experience. And boom, I mean, he's going to get over 100 points. I think that's safe to say.
yeah. Oh no, absolutely. It was a little bit reminiscent of Danny Briere. I mean, if you remember
Yep, big time.
when he came into the league, he was effective, but it was still a clutch and grab, big man's league. And then the lockout comes and goes, and all of a sudden, 58 points in 48 games in the first year back, and then a 95-point season after that, 72 points after that, and just kept on coming. He did have a 28 goal season that last year before the lockout. But
He was waived at one point, Bri.
he was, yeah, yeah,
He passed through waivers as an Phoenix Coyote at the
yeah.
time. Think about that. That's crazy.
Yep, that is pretty remarkable. So he's another guy that's kind of benefited a little bit from when the league changed those some of those hooking rules and things like that.
Yeah.
Put it up even further. He took that and ran with it.
Well, you know what he did too? Briere figured out, I have to find a way to get myself some space on the ice. And Danny developed a really significant ability to use his stick.
Mm-hmm.
And Danny, I mean, he had an edge with his stick. He was vicious, and he would create some space by doing that. And ask some guys that played against him as a guy that could use the stick and carve you up a little bit. Danny he knew that as an undersized guy, he had to develop something. He developed that stick. He'd give it to players.
You've got to use every advantage you can get when you're when you're coming in undersized like that.
Yeah.
For some guys, it's positioning. For some guys, it's speed. But he got very good at that, and it definitely enhanced his career as it went along.
Yeah. Last thing before we wrap this up, because I got to get Bill Meltzer on the line to tape the podcast for tomorrow. But did you ever watch Yellowstone?
I can't say that I have. No.
All right. I know everybody's watching it and raving about it. So I just saw somebody tweet about it one day.
Okay. Yeah.
The old lady's like saying, "Yeah, I got to watch it." So
all right.
I'll settle
I'll
into
check that out too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's Kevin Costner, who I like. Yeah. So, all right, well, so let's wrap it up on that note.
All right,
can't say we respect that. All right, so you got the broadcast on Tuesday solo.
Yes.
Because speaking of the aforementioned old lady, my wife, she's informed me that she's taking me out of town. I'm going to be doing the podcast still, but I'm not going to be part of the broadcast on Tuesday because I'm going to be turning 50. If you can believe this baby face is going to turn 50 coming up on Wednesday.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's nuts.
I'm gonna be 50. I can't believe it.
You enjoy that for
I don't know what she's got planned for me, but, I imagine she'll love it.
Yep.
'Cause I'm a treat.
Hopefully she brings you back.
Yeah, maybe that's the idea, to bring me there, leave me there, and not bring me back. Maybe she's gonna take me to the desert and dig a hole.
You
All
never
right.
know. So more than likely we'll be just on WMMR on Tuesday. We'll be back to the normal, the way we used to do it with the pre and post, but we'll be back with the
Going old
experience
school.
on Saturday. Yeah.
Yep, we'll be at the Wells Fargo Center Saturday for Flyers, Toronto. I'm always looking forward to that game.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
see.
always good to see them. It's
Yeah,
regardless of how our season's going, how their season's going, it's always a good it's always a decent you know a decent matchup between those two teams, and good to see it.
no doubt. No doubt about it. Flyers, are now 1-3 on the road trip. They'll wrap it up Tuesday, and we'll be back for a home game on Saturday against the Leafs. So we will talk to you then. Everybody on the stream, thanks for listening, watching, whatever you're doing, and we'll talk to you coming up this week.
All right, sounds good, folks. We'll see you.